Welcome to our 8-minute overview of Business Central. The first scenario we're going to look at is that Sally receives an email for a sales quote. She creates that sales quote. It's for 5 chairs, and then Sally's going to send out that quote to the customer. So here we are in Business Central. We go to the sales menu and hit Sales Quotes and New. And the first thing we need to do is to find the customer. So we've got Megan there at the School of Fine Art, and then we look for the product that Megan's after, which is the London swivel chair, and she wants to order 5. And this will pick up the standard price for the product. And in this case, because the School of Fine Art is actually abroad, there's no VAT applied. And we have some options here. If this is connected up to my email, we could send it out through there, but we're going to just print it, and I'll just show you what that looks like. Of course, these templates are all configurable. In our next scenario, Amy gets a call from Megan to go ahead and order the chairs. Amy will check the inventory and realise that they don't have enough stock to fulfil the order, so she'll order more from the supplier. So the first thing we do is that we can see we've got some outstanding sales quotes. They'll include the one that we've just created, and we can see that at the bottom of the list here. So we're going to open that up. And from the sales quote, we can convert this into an order by pressing Make Order here, and we convert it from one to another, and it'll bring across in the information. So we can open up the order. We've got some useful notifications at the top here. Just so happens that the School of Fine Art has an overdue balance, but actually more importantly for this one is that we don't have enough inventory to fulfill the order. We can see we've got available inventory of 3, but we need 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a purchase order off the back of this sales order to Graphic Design Institute, who are the supplier of the chairs. We'll remove that pane on the right that gives us some more information about that vendor. And just to make sure we've got some in stock, we're going to order 10. And the next thing that we do is to print and send that. Again, if it was attached to email this demo, we would do that, but we'll just show you what the purchase order looks like. And there we go, and that can be sent off to the vendor. Our next scenario is that the chairs arrive. We need to update the system with that and then fulfill the sales order, and finally send out a sales invoice. So we go to the purchase order that we created a few moments ago on the Graphic Design Institute, because the chairs have now arrived. This is the purchase order for the 10 chairs, and very simply we enter the vendor invoice number that we happen to know. In this case, we've got the invoice along with the shipment, and we post that through, and we get a few choices here, but in this case we want to receive the goods in and create the purchase invoice, which we're not going to take a look at this point. And just to prove that the inventory has changed, we're going to look in our items list for the London swivel chair, and you'll notice from 3 we've now got 13, so those 10 have arrived in, and we've increased the inventory. So the next thing to do, as we have enough chairs to fulfill this order, is to go back into the sales order for Megan at the School of Fine Art, and at this point we can just post it, and we can just say that it can be shipped and invoiced all in one go. and that creates us a posted sales invoice. And at this stage all we need to do is, again, we would send it, but I'll just do a print preview so you can see the sales invoice, the kind of sales invoice that can be created. Our next scenario is to look at another aspect of the system, which is to look at purchase invoices and get them paid. So Billy, who works in the finance team, is using these boxes, these information boxes here, to see the next activity that he wants to do. So he's picked up purchase invoices that are due shortly, and we've got 3 here that he wants to pay via electronic bank transfer. So he collects those, puts them together into a payment journal. So he processes them, creates a payment, just checks that these details, the payment type is for electronic payment, and that creates a payment journal. The only thing he needs to do now is to select that and go to the bank area and hit transmit. At that point, the file will be sent off to the bank for payment. The final scenario we're going to look at is a little bit around the reporting side. Andrew's going to have a look at the profit and loss and then look at some other useful KPIs. So this search bar at the top enables you to get to any area of the system. He's going to look at the income statement, which is Business Central's term for profit and loss report. He wants to change the period that he wants to look for, so from the beginning of the year. He's just going to preview that to get a high level P&L for the year. Next we're going to have a look at a few KPIs. Again, all of this is driven from this home page here, and this business assistance area that we're going to look at now is useful to get some very useful KPIs. So he's going to select a chart. First of all, he wants to have a look at the accounts receivable and look at the payments that have been a long time. He clicks on one of those bars and he can see the invoice that relates to. He's going to select another chart now, one called the cash cycle, which is actually a forward-looking report, so it's based on historical data. And what this is doing is looking forward to see the income and the outgoings, the inventory and the cash, to make sure that looking forward the balance is going to be right. And this is the same thing, looking at it in weeks rather than months. So that's it. That's our 8-minute demo. I hope you enjoyed it.